We're back with a new YouTube video today where I'm going to talk to you about gear. Yes, I think you can tell from the table I'm not going to talk to you about chocolate. And I'm really happy to make this video for you because it's a bit different from what I usually do. In a few days, Zav and I are heading off on a new little trip, this time to Morocco. And this time there's no question of doing things halfway because we've already been to Morocco but you've never seen it. The reason you never saw anything on social media is simply because we were absolutely not organized. So anyway, we're going back just to make new memories and to share some absolutely incredible things with you from two cities in particular, Essaouira and maybe a little bit of Marrakech. Anyway, but we're not here to tell you what we're going to see. I'm here to tell you a bit about the gear we're taking with us so we can create content on site for 4 days. Because ideally, we want to create content for you in the best possible conditions. You'll agree with me on that, and I'm sure this video will interest you. Because if you're going to this country, be aware that there are things you're not allowed to bring with you to record videos. And I'll talk to you about that at the end of the video. Before we get into the heart of the matter, remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. So in this video, we're going to go over everything I'm taking with me to Morocco. I have everything I need here on the table. Well, the camera I'm taking for the vlog is currently recording me. We're also going to talk about internet connection. You don't see it here because it's not visible. Obviously, we'll talk about video, sound, lighting and charging, and storage. And we'll start with the most important thing. In my opinion, it's the one that allows everything else to work, or at least to go smoothly, staying connected. And stay tuned until the end of the video, because there's some very important information, especially about Morocco, if you're going there to create content. It's the kind of detail you often find out about too late. One thing we clearly underestimated the last time we came to Morocco was the internet connection. Plus, back then, just so you know, we were in the camper van, but we had a modem in the camper with different SIM cards. But honestly, mobile data in Morocco is just a disaster. We had to buy a SIM card in a shop, and we also had to cancel it in a shop. So the hassle of having to find a physical store, and on top of that, paying a lot, no, we're not going to make the same mistake again. And it's really not ideal when you rely on GPS to know where you need to go and you're completely self-sufficient with your own vehicle. It's not quite the same as when you're surrounded by tour guides and buses that pick you up at point A to take you to point B. So this is a good opportunity for me to introduce one of the channel's partners, Holafly. They offer an eSIM solution so you can have unlimited data on your phone, and that's in more than 200 destinations around the world. So as you can see, no physical card, no complicated setup. There's just a QR code to scan, which you'll find in the email that you receive when you make your purchase, so you can install your eSIM. Of course, you need to check if your phone is compatible with eSIMs. And of course, download your eSIM before you take off. That way, when you arrive in the country, you already have internet access. So at least with this eSIM system, I can do live stories. I can even do live streams. In short, for me, it's a game changer. So it literally takes me 3 minutes to download it onto your phone. And so for me, this is clearly the solution I've been using for over 3 years now. By the way, I'm leaving you the link to Holafly in the video description where you'll find all the information you need. And also the promo code, which is La Planète de Caro, that gives you a 5% discount on these little eSIMs that can save your life. By the way, feel free to let me know if you have any upcoming travel plans and in that case, which country you might use these eSIMs in. So when it comes to images, I have two setups that are completely complementary. I have a main camera and another one for more spontaneous shots. So my main camera, which is currently recording me, is the Sony ZV-E10. I've had it for a few years now, and it's my go-to camera body. I also have a wide-angle lens, which is great for vlogging because I'm going to be filming several types of content. There will be more vlog-style content and more vertical content aimed at social media, Instagram, TikTok, and so on. So for that, it's easier to have my iPhone close by. And anyway, on the Sony, I also have the kit lens, which allows me to zoom in and out and create effects. A bit of background blur behind me and so on. And of course, with the Sony ZV-E10, the result looks much more professional. It's also better suited for landscape shots to capture scenes or more polished shots. And with it, I bought 2 extra batteries. So I don't end up running out of power because my Sony's battery drains really fast. So that will give me real autonomy. All day long because we're not going to spend our time going back to the hotel to recharge the battery and waste time. So at least having 2 extra batteries lets me stay completely independent all day long. And then, as I was saying, I also have my iPhone 14 Pro here, which by default, it's one of my main work tools, so it's better suited for more reactive moments like, I don't know, a sudden light, a cat crossing the street. There are a lot of cats in Morocco. a street scene, a smile caught in the moment. Basically, it's more for instant shots, for the more human side, I'd say, of content creation. And so I really like to alternate between the two because it allows me to have a real diversity of video footage so I don't miss anything. Now let's move on to a detail, and not a minor one, which is sound quality. If you have a beautiful image but you have a absolutely terrible sound, wind blowing into your mic, it's just a nightmare. So sound quality is going to be very important. So for static shots or face cam, I usually use the RØDE mic that I put on the ZV-E10. This allows me to have clean and consistent quality in my recordings. It's a very directional mic, very lightweight, and it isolates the voice well. Honestly, for me, it's a really good compromise. Next, for anything that's a bit more immersive, like for example, walking through souks, having conversations, capturing the atmosphere of the place, for instance, Moroccans playing an instrument. Well, for that, I tend to use the DJI wireless mics. And honestly, that's really a game changer. The advantage with it is the freedom it gives you. There are no cables. You can record and get absolutely impeccable sound quality, even if you're far from the camera. So it's perfect for spontaneous scenes. For example, if XAV is filming and I'm a bit further away, it's ideal. I really recommend these little mics if you're going out to do field vlogging where anything can happen at any moment. At least you can be sure you'll always have good sound quality. And what's great too is that I can plug it into the ZV-E10 or directly into the iPhone. So now let's talk about what I bring to make sure I have enough batteries for these 4 days. These are batteries made by EcoFlow. So here I have one that's specifically designed to put your phone on. It's magnetic, you just place your phone on it and it charges. It's a bit heavy, but for a whole day in a bag it's fine, it's manageable. Let's say it's acceptable. Here, these are the new batteries. External ones. Now we're talking about the heavy-duty stuff. This one is heavier than this one. I think this is the Pro, and this one is the regular version. So yeah, that must be it, because here you have like 3 USB-C ports. And here you have a USB and a USB-C. You also have a little cable here like this that you can pull out if you ever need it. There you go, it fits in like that. So we'll see, but one thing's for sure, carrying this around in a bag all day is heavy. It already weighs a little more. So I'll see which of these 3 I take. The advantage is that you can take one, leave it at the hotel, and use it to charge things you don't need right away. For example, here we're going to take the tablet, which will serve as our computer because we're not bringing our laptops. Again, we're only going for 4 days. The idea is to create as much content as possible, so we won't really have time to work on the computer itself. So basically, that would be one of the only things to recharge. Here we have the small dock to recharge the batteries for the Sony ZV-E10 body, and here the case for the little DJI microphones. Storage and organization of the equipment. So that's also one of the reasons why we really thought about whether or not to bring the laptop, because it's true that it's always very convenient to have our computer with us so we can offload files. The SD card from the camera body, or simply being able to transfer directly the content that was shot with the iPhone. This time we decided to take the tablet, but most importantly we're bringing these small hard drives like these little Lexar ones, which are really good and allow us to transfer content directly onto them. But in any case, what's really important and worth remembering when you're creating content like this, all day long, it's important to make a backup in the evening as soon as you get back to the hotel to save all your footage that you shot so you don't lose it. That was one of the mistakes we made several times, especially during the road trip back then. And it led to a lot of tears because there were some great videos. And for Morocco, we had tons of content, but I don't know what happened. Impossible. They just poof, disappeared like that from the hard drive. So at least now, that's a little ritual I do. It lets me start the next day with total peace of mind. When it comes to gear space, there's nothing worse. You go to film and you see that little notification, storage full. I'm sure that's happened to you before. And then you're just incredibly mad at yourself because you find yourself completely stuck in that situation. And then when it comes to packing to travel with all this gear, I have a travel bag here that's totally suited for organizing this equipment. So it's a bag from Pro, and I find it absolutely brilliant and incredibly innovative because inside you have these wonderfully practical little shelves that you can securely attach with sturdy snaps, or you can simply and conveniently remove them, perhaps along with a protective cover, offering exceptional versatility. For example, here you have a small pouch where you can put all your cables and small accessories. On top, I'll be able to put my things. There is also a pocket on each side. So that's really great, you see, for putting the boom pole on the side and for Or why not just a water bottle on the other side? In any case, this travel bag offers a lot of storage. We have other small pockets here on the front to store 2 or 3 small things. And above all, what's great is that I can also combine it with the space that's still available above the storage if I can manage to find the opening. There we go. And that's absolutely fantastic. In there, I'll have enough space to pack clothes for traveling. So in any case, for 4 days, this bag is going to be perfect. And above all, what's nice is that it's a rather rigid bag, which is better for everything like video and photo equipment, so as not to damage the gear. That would be a real shame. Before finishing this video, a quick but important warning for those traveling with video equipment. In Morocco, drones are prohibited for private individuals. So if you have one, make sure not to bring it before checking the regulations. There's a real risk of it being confiscated at the airport or even running into trouble with the authorities. It would be a real shame to start a trip with your drone confiscated. Just as a little anecdote, when we arrived in Tangier with the camper van, they searched the camper from top to bottom, brought in the dog, and so on. They had all the vehicles go through. It's normal, but it's pretty impressive. They had all the vehicles pass under these kinds of gates that were flashing everywhere. There were alarms going off and so on. I assure you, you really don't want to do anything wrong. On the contrary, you should prepare your trip well and make sure you know exactly what you can and cannot bring. So in general, that's pretty much all the gear I take with me to create content. Just a quick reminder, if you're also planning a trip, think about Holafly's eSIM. Who am I? It's the only option I use every time I go traveling. The link is just below the video with a special code just for you. Let me know in the comments. What is for you the must-have accessory for filming during your travels? Or if this video helped you or made you think of a couple of things you might not have thought of before. That's it. Also, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and above all, have a great trip, everyone. Kisses!